Oh, yeah.
22 murder crap.
And that's on YouTube. Okay, so here we go.
Next, we're going to teach you how to.
All right, now we're going to teach you how to do T accounts. That's what we're going to teach you how to do. Good thing I have the microphone. Paul, you're at the back of the room. So, okay. So what does it say in the assessment we're doing here? I don't have my assessment out. The assessment or the assignment. You can tell me either one. It's 3.1 through 4 or something like that? Was it?
Yeah, 3.1 through 3.5.
3.1B through 3.5B. Good. Let's jump into this then. So we were talking about T accounts from yesterday. A couple of the most important takeaways. What did you get out of yesterday, Mr. Tuck? What did you think was an important takeaway from yesterday?
Credits and debits.
You said credits and debits? You meant debits and credits. There we go. Okay, good. Yeah, okay, good. How about you, Ashley? What's something you got out of yesterday? Nothing. Honestly, nothing.
Actually, yeah, I did. I just don't know how to explain it because he already basically took it.
Well, tell me which side's positive and which side's negative.
Well, on the left side of the equation, the positive is on the left. And
Perfect.
on the right side of the equation, it's opposite.
And an expense is always a?
Debit.
Thank you. Everybody remembers that from yesterday. Good. So we're going to be looking at these T's. Now, what's unique about all the T accounts? If we put all the T accounts together, we take all the balances, what should be the end result? They should be balanced. And that's what we call a trial balance. So everything on the left, everything on the right, we should equal up. Good to go. Perfect. So let's go ahead and have somebody read to me Problemo number 3.1, Bravo. Using T accounts. It's on page 81, yeah. Fine, I'll read it. Analyze each of the transactions. For each transaction, set up T accounts. Record the effects of the transaction in the T accounts. Use plus and minus signs to show increases and decreases. Great. So we're just trying to reiterate what's a plus and what's a minus, depending on which T account it is. So I'm going to go ahead and put here problem 3.1b. I'm going to make my sheet 3.1b. And we are off to the races here. Now, the first transaction, would you read that for me, John?
A firm purchased equipment for $16,000 in cash.
So a firm purchased equipment for $16,000 in cash. John wasn't here, so I'm not going to make him analyze this right off the bat because we had this yesterday. But Mr. Tuck looks like he wants to do it. Which one are we always going to start with?
Start with cash.
That's good. And when we record it, though, remember yesterday? I like cash. That's exactly what, think about it in cash. When we record it, which one are we always going to record first?
We'll record positive first.
No.
The debit.
The debit first. We're always going to record the left side transaction first. So we're going to figure out the transaction, but the debit should always be first. Left side or debit. That's exactly what it is. So I'm just using the same terms here so we can make sure we understand it. Now, you know what we're going to need for this? We're going to need to do first, we're doing 1. That's our problem number. And yeah, we're going to do 1 through 8. So let's go ahead and make a 2. You know what? I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to make the T first because we're going to have to make some stuff. And now we need to make a T before we go any farther. So we're like, oh, a T. Yeah, I want to make a T. So I'm going to highlight, holding the Shift key down, and do B and C. And then I have this little thing. I'm going to drop down and do more borders. See this one down here at the bottom? More borders. I highlighted B and C. Then I'm going to drop down my border button to more borders. And under more borders, I'm going to use this thick one so I can keep track of it. Notice I've grabbed this thing. And I'm just going to click on the bottom. So click on something like this so we can see it. And then I'm going to click on the bottom here. Then I'm going to click OK. So it should look like this when we're done. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to highlight B4 to C5. And I'm going to go back up to that more borders. So down to this one again, C4 to B5, and I'm going to have that same line is still highlighted, and we're going to click in the middle. See this? We just made a T. Oh, amazing. Like up, hook.
Okay, for the first line. I didn't get the steps.
Click, shift.
Where it says text.
And you go down two because if you try to drag and drop it, it's only gonna make thick boxes.
And then, okay.
The-
No, I went down 2 so it looks like a T. I don't know. I was just being fun.
He just made his longer.
You can copy me if you want, or you can do whatever you want, but this is how I'm going to do it. So now, this is an important part. This part right here, between the B and the C, I should have done this before. I'm going to highlight between those, and I'm going to do a merge and center. So I merge this, so now it's all one cell. How did I do that? I went up to B3 to C3, and then hit merge and center. Made me one. Now I'm going to hold the shift key down in my merge and centered cell, go down 2, so I've highlighted my whole. Oh wait, I'm not going to highlight my T yet. I'm going to highlight the bottom 4 where the numbers can go, and I'm going to use a comma style. And I'm going to get rid of my 2 decimal places. So tap that 2, 1, 2. Because this will format all my numbers from here on out. And the reason I'm doing this ahead of time is because now when I come up here and I just say, I grab this, I just shift and hold through all of it, shift and then arrow key down twice, and I hit copy. I scoot over to E and I hit paste, and I have the same thing. Bam. Oh yeah. So we should all have this. That's your phone. Okay. You know, on an iPhone, you just push this button and it silences everything. It's pretty cool. Those Samsung phones, though, they don't do that. It's okay.
My Samsung phone's waterproof without putting it in a special case.
Really? It's still in a special case. I don't know what that's for.
Not a phone.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I don't know what the benefit of that is then. Okay. So, all right. Now we're gonna grab this thing. Oh, is Jennifer okay? Kevin, you all right?
Yeah.
Nick, you okay? Ken?
Yeah.
Ashley? Nathan? Jerry? Michael? Nick? Annette? Paul? John? Now all of your names are on YouTube forever. Okay. Okay. All right, let's do this. So I'm just going to come over here because Mr. Tuck was talking it out. We know that we're going to deal with cash. Now, is cash going in or out? So we know that it's going to be on what side of the cash?
Left side. The right side.
The right side. There you go. That's good. That's good. Because Mr. Tuck flipped to the back of the book and looked at that little asset sheet and said, if I lose cash, it's going to be on the right side because that's a credit to the cash account. Okay, good. So we're going to come over here. We're going to put cash. And how much cash is going out, Mr. Tuck? 16,000. Now the book is telling us to put the negative, like the minus sign. I'm going to say you don't have to do that because we're going to be so advanced here. And so what is our other account that's being affected here? Equipment. So we can know that just by doing this. Now I'm going to show you my trick. This is how I try not to transpose things and get things screwed up. I know my first transaction was on the right. So I know that I need to put 16,000, but what if I put $16,001? Because I accidentally typed it. It's screwed up, right? So I'm going to hit equals 16,000. And it's always using the same number.
So when you change it changes automatically?
Yes. Now, taking it one step further, and I'm not trying to get too far ahead for you, but I'm just trying to help you if you're getting a little more advanced in this, mapping this out. I always only reference from the debit side. So what I would actually do is I would put 16,000 over here, and I would come over and say equals 16,000. That way I know if I fix my debits, my credits will automatically be altered. Does that make sense? So that's just a little food for thought. You can do it either way, but this keeps it, there's like an actual pattern to it then. I'm going to highlight this whole thing. I'm going to hit Control C to copy. Go down to A7 and hit paste. And then paste. And then paste. And then paste. And then paste.
So skipping one?
I'm skipping one. You can skip however many you want. So number 2. Oh, and then we can also actually probably do, well, I don't want to delete everything yet. Number 2, Nick, why don't you read this one for us? Carvalho. She withdrew $4,000 in cash. So what are we thinking about right now? So is that going up or down? She withdrew $4,000 of cash. Didn't say personal in there. Don't read anything into the problem that's not there. So that's a way we can get in trouble in all these problems is we're like, oh, well, that's her personal account. It didn't say anything about her personal account. Let's take it at face value. The owner, Angie, withdrew $4,000 of cash, which means it's going to be on which side?
Oh, I'm sorry, the right.
I was just being quiet. I was just waiting for him. So that means it's going to be a credit to the cash. Okay, so cash is going out. It's going to be a credit. How much is going out? $4,000. So let's figure out what the left side transaction is going to be then. If she's drawing it out, what account is it going to be in? No. Close. What account? Anybody?
She's drawing the money?
Owner withdrawal, or we'll call it the drawing account. So we'll say it's Angie, I'm going to just say Angie drawing. And it's $4,000. Look at that. It automatically updated. As soon as I hit enter, it automatically went over to the other side because I kept that little formula in there. Because I'm a smart man.
So when you copy the formulas too.
Oh, yeah. That's why I did all the formatting first and got everything done so it'll do everything together. Yeah, Tamel will tell you that if you follow my path, it makes accounting 215, 216 pretty easy. You should ask him because,
Yeah, we always talk about it.
yeah. So, he was the one that, you weren't here that day, but I was telling everybody, he came into my class and one of my other classes like, listen to what he's telling you about Excel because it makes everything so easy. All right, Annette, you're up.
A firm sold a piece of surplus equipment for $3,000 in cash.
Okay, so the firm sold a piece of surplus equipment for $3,000 in cash. What are our accounts?
We're looking at cash.
Okay, cash on the left or the right? Debit or credit?
Maybe a debit.
It's going to be a debit because cash is going up. So I'm going to go ahead and put cash. How much money are we talking about? $3,000. And so now we know we're going to come over here. We could have a cash debit and a cash credit, but that's going to be a stupid thing. What's the other account we have to figure out?
We're looking at
Equipment.
equipment.
Bing.
We're selling it. Oh, so it does it automatically.
It's already done. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if you do that formula I did, it'll automatically have the number over there. Because you know it's going to be on the right side.
Can you explain the whole left side, right side thing again? That you were talking about at the beginning. How you say cash?
Well, here at the back of the book, on the back page, it'll show you the very back. Just flip all the way to that last, right there. It explains. That's what yesterday was. Yeah, we were talking about left side, right side. So it just depends on which side of the accounting equation is, but we can talk at the break. All right, number 4, Paul.
A firm purchases a used delivery truck for $12,000. So it's going to be equipment and $12,000.
Equipment, $12,000. What if we put it in like truck? Is that right?
No.
Okay, equipment. You can do equipment. I would call it truck. Let's call it delivery truck. Delivery truck. And it was 12,000. Okay, what's on the right side?
Nothing, because it automatically does it.
But what's the account we're going to be dealing with?
Oh, cash,
And is it 12,000 over here?
yes.
Oh, look at that. It's getting so simple. All right, Priscilla, number 5.
A firm paid $3,600 in cash to apply against an account owed.
Ooh. So what are our 2 accounts that we're dealing with?
Is it accounts payable?
One of them will be accounts payable because we owe it. So is it going up or down? Accounts payable. It's going down. And in accounts payable, is that a debit or a credit? How about cash? Let's jump over to the cash side because maybe that'll make it easier. Is the cash going up or down?
It's going down.
And is that a debit or a credit?
It's a debit. No, wait, it's a credit.
Thank you.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's our first day of getting debits and credits, and so we're speaking it. So it's a credit. So we know cash is going to be on the right side. So we can just say AP is going to be on the left side. And it was for $3,600. So cash goes down $3,600. Good job. Jennifer. Number 6.
A firm purchased office equipment for $5,000. The amount is to be paid in 60 days.
So a firm purchased office equipment for $5,000. The amount is to be paid in 60 days. All right. What are we doing? Debits and credits. What accounts? Let's look at what accounts are being cash. Did we pay for it?
We're paying
Did we pay for it?
Because we gotta pay the
No, we're going to pay it in 60 days. So cash is not part of this transaction.
it's AP.
We're going to have an accounts payable. Exactly. So we're going to owe money to someone. We're going to have a liability at that point. So we know one of them is going to be accounts payable. Now, is accounts payable going up or down?
account.
It's going up because we're going to owe more. Going up. So on the liability side of the equation, on the right side of the equation, if it goes up, what makes it go up? A debit or a credit? A credit because it's on the right side. So we know that this one over here is going to be accounts payable. And what is on the left side then? What are we buying? What are we going to own when we do this?
Equipment.
What kind of equipment? Office equipment. There we go. And how much are we buying it for?
$5,000.
Bing, right there. I'm going to copy and paste one more of these things because we're going to need it for 8. All right, Kevin.
Chuck Lindsay, owner of the company, made an additional investment of $20,000 in cash.
He puts $20,000 of cash into the business.
So cash is debit.
Cash is going to be a debit because it's going up. How much?
$20,000.
Good. Oops, that's 2,000. That won't work. And then what's on the right side then? If he's investing in the company.
That be any of the instruments or
No, he's not buying anything. He's just putting money in the company. So we have owning as an asset. What?
would be checking?
Well, checking is cash. We have owing, and then we have financial interest in owner's equity. So we're going to have a financial interest in this problem here. So
Nasty calls from the dean required?
in here, just the one I've made already today.
Okay,
And hold on.
I'm holding that.
And Paul's not here. I'm just kidding. He's sitting right in front of me. So yeah, that's it. Welcome. And so we have owning, owing, and financial interest. So this person giving us $20,000 or giving the business $20,000. Now we have cash. The business owns $20,000 of cash as an asset. The liability, is there anything that they owe to someone for that? Or do they have someone that now has a financial interest in it? Yeah, it's going to be equity. So we're going to be in the capital account. So we're going to say, what's his name? Chuck. I'm just going to say Chuck Capital. And Nick, once again. Wrong Nick. That Nick. Ah, wait. Should we make it Nick 1, Nick 2, or Nick and Nicholas, or what do you want to do?
Call him Nicole and I'll be Nick.
Oh, those are fighting words right there. Those are fighting words.
Oh.
All right. That's all. Nick in the back. How about that? Nick, what are we doing here?
A firm paid $1,500 by check for office equipment that it had previously purchased on credit, so that is accounts payable goes down, $1,500 and cash goes down.
Perfect. Just like that. He's got it. Numero dos. So we're doing all these just like this tomorrow for our test in class. I'm just making sure everybody understands this. So is there a question you have about that problem? Something you didn't understand? 'Cause if not, forever hold your peace. All right. 3.2, bravo. Now what I'm going to do for 3.2 is I'm going to right mouse click on this thing and say move and copy on my little tab down there at the bottom. And I'm going to create a copy before sheet 2 because I'm going to need a bunch of T accounts again. And I'm going to just rename this one 3.2b. And I'm going to go up here and do problem 3.2b.
How'd you copy it?
You right mouse click on, if you're on 3.1b, you just right mouse click on the tab, you say move or copy. And I'll make my 3.3 right now. I'm going to move in front of sheet 2 and you have to click this create a copy button. Click OK. And now I have another one. I'm going to call this one 3.3. Oops, 3.3b. One more time. I don't know if 3.4 is going to need it. Nope. Sorry, you're out of luck. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Come on. I can show you. So you just find whichever tab you want to copy down here at the bottom. You're going to right mouse click it, our magic button, right mouse, not left mouse, right mouse click it. Go up to move or copy. And then it brings up this screen. And I'm going to create a copy. So I click this. And then I'm going to tell it I want it right in front of sheet 2. I'm going to click O to the Kazay. And then I have another copy. Now I'm going to delete that one because I didn't want that one. Did that work for you, Mr. Tuck? Excellent. All right, Ken, you're up. Our instructions for each transaction, set up T accounts of the following list. Ooh, cash, shop equipment, store equipment, truck, accounts payable, Joseph Tejan capital, Joseph Tejan drawing. Analyze each transaction. So this is awesome. This one's great because what are they doing? They're telling us what we're going to put up at the top this time. We're not making guesses. I love it. So we know what should be up at the top. And we know this is a great technique for when you're doing homework and tests. We know that there's a limited number of choices. That if we think it's something else, it's not. It's listed up there what it can be. Very simple. All right, so Ken, read that first one for us.
Okay. Transactions. Okay, Joseph Kahan invested $20,000 in cash in the business.
All right, so Joseph invested $20,000 of cash in the business. What two accounts are we going to be dealing with?
Cash.
Cash is one of them. Is cash going up or down?
Cash is going up.
Up. And does cash go up on the left or the right?
Go up on the right.
It's the left. Everything we have in a box to the left. Okay, so we want to remember the Beyonce song. There's a reason I said to the left, to the left. Okay, she's got the bling, she's got the cash, but it goes up on the left. No. Good, that's good. so cash, it's going to go up 20,000. Now, I did that's twice today I've done that. Now, what's on the right side? What's the other account that we're dealing with? Yep, it's investing. So he's getting a financial interest. So what account listed up there can we use? In the bold.
Shop equipment?
No, he's not buying anything. It's capital. Because he's investing in the company. Bang, right there. Joseph Tahan Capital. Tijin. Tahan, whatever we're going to call it. All right, the next one. Ashley.
Purchase shop equipment for $1,800 in cash.
What two accounts are we going to deal with?
Office equipment, shop equipment, and cash.
Okay, so shop equipment and cash. Which one's on the left? Which one's on the right? Which one's going up?
The one that's going up is the shop equipment.
So shop
Which is going down.
equipment, because we're dealing with two assets, we're going to put shop equipment over here. It's $1,800. Cash goes down $1,800. Nathan, here's a tough one.
Bought store fixtures for $1,200. Payment is due in 30 days. One of them is going to be store equipment, and the other one is the accounts payable.
Okay, so,
The accounts payable is going up.
all right, and what side of the equation is it on?
The right.
So to go up, it needs to be on the right? Store, sorry, accounts payable, sorry. Okay, store equipment. And how much was it? 1,200. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little hint at test taking in accounting. We've set this up now before we go on to number 4. If I were taking a test in this book, and it's only for this chapter, so it's going to be for your test tomorrow. So hint, hint, nudge, nudge, blink, blink, wink, wink. If you can comprehend this, this will make it so much simpler. The thing on the left is always going to be on the left, right? The thing on the right is always going to be on the right. The number is given in every freaking transaction. So in theory, we could go down and put our simple number that's listed in each transaction without going, oh, what is it supposed to be? And then all we have to do is figure out the titles of each one, okay? So the debits are always going to be on the left. The credits are always going to be on the right. The number's always going to be given to us there. So we could just look at that and go, okay, I'm going to put the number in. So on this next one, on number 4, Jerry, before I even put it in, how much money are we dealing with? Don't read me the problem. Just tell me, how much money am I going to put in this T account for number 4? Yeah, what does it say? Number 4. How much money am I dealing with? $10,000. So look, $10,000. Now all I have to do, I know that 10,000 is going to be on the left. I know 10,000 is going to be on the right. What are my two accounts I'm dealing with? And it says what?
Used truck.
A used truck for 10,000 and what?
Cash.
Okay, so let's go to my thought here. Mr. Tuck, cash. We're going to think cash first, right? So what's going on with the cash, Jerry?
It's going down.
And when cash goes down, is it a debit or a credit? Goes to the right side. So we're just going to go over here and say cash. That means that if I look up at my accounts up above, I see that I have cash, shop equipment, store equipment, truck, accounts payable, Joseph Tijin Capital, Joseph Tijin Drawing. Which one do we think it's going to be?
Truck.
Yeah, it's not a trick question. It's just truck. Now, why is truck going up? What is truck? It's not an expense. What did you say? Well, truck is a debit, but why is it a debit, and does that consider it going up? because it's an asset. It's something we own. And this is the thing. Most assets, I'm going to say this is not gravity, but most assets are things we can touch, things that we own, that we have. Okay? We're going to get into counting 214, we'll get into intangible assets. But this book, if I paid $3 million for this book and my company bought it, it would be an asset to the company of $3 million. Because I can hold it. I can hold cash. You know, we keep it digitally a lot of the times, but I can hold the cash. And so that's stuff I own. So a truck, office furniture, computers, desks, clocks, that's all assets. Okay, those are things that we own.
Computer programs and
I'm not going to confuse everybody with intangible right now. We'll get into that in 3 classes. Okay, so let's keep it to just things that we can hold on to right now. Let's not get confused because the book's not going to give us anything confusing. Okay, Mr. Tuck, number 5.
Okay, so we'll have
Tejan gave his firm his personal tools that have a fair market value of $3,000.
okay, so we're gonna equipment is gonna be on the right side. And
Type of equipment.
I call tools shop equipment, sure.
yeah, shop equipment. Okay, and then I'll say cash on that.
Cash? Okay, so what's the number that goes in here?
Okay, so that would. Oh, it's not cash.
Well, we're going to have 3,000. So he looked at it and says, no, it's not going to be cash. How do we know it's not cash? Because that would be making what? Cash go up. Now, this is cash going up for $3,000. Was cash even in this description? Okay, what went up? What's an asset that went up? We now own tools. We now own shop equipment. Is it store equipment? I think it's going under shop equipment. We can have this argument later, but I'm going to say shop equipment has gone up. Great. Now, has anything else gone up, or have they taken an asset down with a credit? Has anything else gone up? Let me ask you this. If I take cash and I invest in your company like I just did with Ken, I give you $3,000 of cash. What do I have? What do I have in return? No, that's never income. I have equity of $3,000. Now, what's the difference between cash and tools?
nothing.
Well, one's a piece of paper, one's metal, or whatever it happens to be. They're both assets. So I can give you $3,000 of tools, and guess what I get in return?
$3,000 in equity.
Yes, $3,000 of capital. Yes, because an asset is an asset is an asset. I can trade that asset for something. What if I gave you a building for investing in your company? You're going to give me that much value of equity in your company. That's how that works. So once we have an asset, we have to kind of let go of the cash concept. What if I gave you 5,000 reams of paper and I wanted $2,000 stake in your company? Great, you can do that. That's called owner's equity.
So that would be owner's equity.
It would be capital, yeah. So owner's equity, so capital.
Expensive paper.
It's very expensive paper. It's just paper with a different color on it. It's just white paper instead of green, right? So it's just that if we're gonna value it at $3,000, fair market value, which we're gonna get to something later in a future chapter called historical cost basis. In accounting, we always try to come up with the amount that it was when it transacted into the business. So it's not new tools. He didn't go out and buy a bunch of new tools. He's saying he's giving us his tools with a fair market value of $3,000. He now has a financial interest in this company of $3,000.
That's like $2.50 per ream of paper.
So that's owner's equity.
Yes, but we call it capital. It's a fun little point. It's one that hopefully is sinking in. It'll slowly but surely get there as our minds melt around it. All right, Nick. Nick in the front. I was going to call you Nicole, but I didn't want to get hit. No.
Okay, so, it'd be cash and then.
Oh, what is it here really quick? Bought and used a cash, or bought a used cash register for $2,500. Payments due in 30 days. Okay, I didn't know what it was. So what's on the left? What's going up?
So on your left would be, equipment.
Store equipment, right?
Yeah.
Because cash register. And
And
it's
then,
2,500. Is that right?
correct, and then cash.
Cash. Okay. So it's cash. No, Annette? Why isn't it cash?
Gotta be April.
We didn't pay nothing. We bought that on a credit card. Okay. So if we don't pay anything, what is it going to be? Accounts payable. We owe it in the future. All right, Paul. No, bought a used cash register. Aha. You saw the word cash and you instantly went there. I think they were messing with you just for that. Wait, Annette. It's Annette's turn. I skipped you, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Ladies first, Paul.
We're on 7.
Yeah, lucky number 7.
Pay $400 in cash per time through the amount owed for store fixtures. We're going to. I know cash is going to be credited,
Okay, so cash is credited.
and then fixture is going to be debited, but yeah.
Fixtures. But we don't have fixtures up there listed as one of the ones we can use.
It's going to be the store.
Store equipment. Okay, and it's what, $400?
400.
Good, everybody agree?
I was gonna say, accounts payable bill.
Yes, it's accounts payable. Why is it accounts payable? It doesn't matter if we bought the fixtures before, it's what we owed on buying the fixtures. Aha, good job, Nick. So that's one of those things that it's accounts payable. If we bought the product and we've had the product, we can't second buy the product. It's just like we can't second recover income when something's in the accounts receivables. We get the purchase once and we get the income once. That's the way it works. Good job. Good catch. All right, number 8. Paul,
Okay, Jan
Mr. 45 shell.
withdrew. I'm just saying, I don't trust anything that's 22.
Oh, okay.
22.
Science would fight with you on that one.
1,600 in cash for personal expenses. Yeah, but real.
So what accounts are we dealing with here?
We're dealing with his capital account,
And is that one going to be on the left or the right?
his drawing. His drawing account. 'cause he
Okay.
withdrew,
And so a drawing is always a,
credit. No, debit.
thank you, because I said it just like my expense thing because I wanted you to think like it said. So we're going to say Joseph Tijan drawing, and it is 1,600. And what's going down on the right?
1,600. His capital.
What's he taking out?
His owner equity. So
It has a word in there that we need to have. Cash. You have to have a cash in there. If it says something about cash, you know cash is going to be in that. One of those two.
So it doesn't remove from his capital?
It will, but it'll do that later. We'll do that in the statement of owner's equity. We got to get out the cash. Like otherwise, what are we writing him a check with? If he's pulling $1,600 out. Okay, everyone. I would like us all to hit save. Use your name. Make sure your name's in front of it. Say homework week 2 or what is it, assignment 2. And then we are going to take a 10-minute break and we will come back and continue on. Let's start this bad boy back up. So we're on 3.3 Bravo. We're going to do the same type of thing here. It says, following transactions took place at China Express Laundry and Cleaners. Analyze each of the transactions for each transaction. Decide what accounts are affected and set up the T accounts. Record the effects of the transaction in the T accounts, and we are going to show which ones are increasing and decreasing. So transaction number 1. Where did we leave off? John. You didn't copy and paste that over?
Yeah, I'm doing it
Okay. Well, we'll wait a second while you get that pulled over so I can delete these. Sorry, I forgot I had made all of them when we were making that first one. Ken's got Excel this week. He's probably becoming a pro all in 1 week. All right, so number one.
Pay $3,800 for their current month's rent.
So we paid $3,800 for the current month's rent.
Cash credit.
Cash credit, so we're going to put cash over here. And whenever we spend money on something that's going out as a bill,
Expense.
that's right, it's going to be a rent expense. And an expense is always a debit. Thank you. So we can say $3,800. There we go. Question, Michael.
No, this is not letting me copy this. Copy removed it. This is 3.2.
Okay, now go down there and, well, you copied over it. Oh, wait, are you on B? There's 3.3B.
No, there's.
Okay,
I got it.
right mouse click it. Hit delete. Yes. And then go down to 3.2. Right mouse click it. Go up to move and copy. Make a copy. You gotta make sure you create a copy.
Great. Oh,
There you go.
that's
And
what I was doing.
you may put it in front of whatever you wanted. I don't want to say user error, but user error. Okay. Priscilla's like, oh my gosh, I'm ready. I should throw a wrench in this one. Kevin! No, I'm just kidding. Priscilla, what's number two? We perform services for $8,000 in cash. So what are we doing? I'm not going to say would it be. I'm going to put it where you tell me to.
Oh, is it, cash?
I'm keeping a blank face. I want you to tell me. I don't want you to ask me.
I'm not sure.
Well, are we getting cash or no?
Yes.
Okay, and when we get cash, is cash going up or down? When cash goes up, is it a debit or a credit? Debit, because it's on the left side, right? So cash, 8,000. And then what was the other half of that equation?
Perform services.
So whenever I said this yesterday, whenever we see perform services, it goes into what? Which is? Fees income. Thank you very much. Fees income. Jennifer, you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
So paid salaries were 5,600. So it's gonna be cash on the right.
Cash on the right. Okay.
And would it be salaries
Salaries what?
for the left?
Expense. Expense. There we go. And expense is always a debit. You guys are getting there. So we know that one's going to be easy. Kevin.
The credit throws me off, but perform additional services for 10,800 on credit.
Okay. So we performed additional services. Let's do the easy part first.
So yes, 10,800 in cash, which is a debit. He performed-
I'll put it here. Cash, 10,800. What's the other half?
fees income, right?
Yeah, fees income. Good. Everybody agree? No. What's wrong? Did we get any cash out of that? No cash. We didn't get any money. It says that we performed services for 10,800 on credit. Whenever we see, yes, it'll be AR because that's over in the asset column. because it's going up. People owe us money. Now, I'm not even looking ahead. I'm going to cover up my book. But I can almost guarantee that at some future point, they're going to say we collected $5,000 or something like that from people, from credit clients. We're going to go back to this one and we're going to say, well, we already collected the income for it. Now we're just going to take it out of accounts receivable and shuffle it into cash. So accounts receivables will be on the right. We're going to drain some money from there and we're going to add the money to cash. So that happens in all through this book. So let's just get that concept down.
So anything that's in account payable or account receivable, it's not tangible yet. It's just.
It's an IOU. Like we've done the work for it. So it's ours. We own it. It's just like, it's like cash because we have an IOU from someone. It's like a check that they've written that we haven't cashed yet. We've issued them credit. We said, we'll do it, but you're going to owe us the money. So they gave us a different form of something. So income goes into accounts receivables. Accounts receivables moves into cash. Notice how many times income's in this. Okay. Of these three things, which one's going to interact with the other two? Twice. Accounts receivables is going to interact twice because we're going to put in and we're going to come out. So it's going to be the debit and it's going to be credited into the debit. So I just want you to see that because that's something that's going to come up and we're going to see it a million times in this book and I might as well just forewarn you about it. So next. Nick.
$1,200 for the monthly telephone bill, so that would be minus $1,200 out of cash and expense. $1,200.
What expense?
Be like the monthly telephone.
So telephone expense?
Yes.
And an expense is always a debit. Cash. Oh, and look, cash will go down if it's a credit. This looks right. Ken, number 6.
Number 6, collected $4,000 from accounts receivable.
I am like prescient. Like I was foretelling the future. Okay, so what are we going to do?
Well, cash.
Cash. How much cash?
4,000.
Okay, and what's my other account? Where are we taking the cash from? Accounts receivables, perfect. So just like I just said, we earned it, we put it in accounts receivables. We collect it, we're going to take it from accounts receivables, put it into cash. That's it. We don't. A lot of people get hung up. They'll say fees income. No. We're not earning it a second time. We're just collecting it. All right, number 7, Ashley.
Received $190 refund for overcharge on the
Oh, wow, this is a toughie. This is mean. Can't believe they did this to us already. Okay, so what's going on? Queso? We're doing cheese? Cash? How much? 190. What's going on over here? My brain's popping. Oh, telephone expense. Why would it be that? Because an expense is always a. So can it be that? But are we actually paying an expense? What's happening here? They're refunding money.
Telephone refund.
So it is in the telephone expense account, but it's not an expense. It's a refund coming back to us. So this is a mean one. I can't believe they threw this at us in chapter 3. But they'll throw this at us, okay? So we're not paying for the phone bill because an expense is always a debit. But if for some reason we overpaid the phone bill, we have to unwind what we do. So in accounting, we just hit the other side of the account and it unwinds it. So now we would see that that month we had $190 less of an expense than we thought we did. That's it.
So that's really the only time we see expense
The only time you'll ever see expense over here is in a refund. Exactly. So, it was mean that they did it to us, but it was okay because I saw everybody's brains just. So. All right. Number 8. Nathan.
Performance services for $5,200 on.
For 50?
Alright, so fees income would be on the left.
Because income is always a.
Credit.
So that's all right. No, that's I'm just saying. So fees income is going to be on the right.
Yep.
Okay. You perform the services. What is it? I didn't hear you. On credit? Is that what it says? We perform services on credit?
Yes.
When we heard the term credit, we know we only got 2 accounts we can work from. Payable? Receivable?
No, accounts payable.
Payable? Receivable? I'm so confused. They owe us money. It's a freaking receivable. That's right. Okay. Everybody at YouTube's like, ow, those are my ears. Somebody's got headphones on. It's going to be like, ow. Okay. How much money are we talking about? 5,200. You want my piece 50 cents? Okay. I love that movie. Somebody was saying, why do you keep saying that? I'm like, you've never seen Transformers? Love that part. You want my piece 50 cents? Okay. Next, Jerry.
Oh, 850.
850? So we're putting the number in first, 850. What are our accounts?
On the right side is cash.
Cash. On the left side?
Is going down. And then on the next side is telephone expense. I mean electric bill.
So utilities expense. All right, this is the deal. I'm looking at the time. I'm starting to have a little bit of a panic attack because we're doing the easy stuff right now, and we need to get into one of the serious problems. So I'm going to have you finish the rest of it on your own. I think you can do that. There's 9, 10, 11, 12 to go. But we need to jump into the next problem. So I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to make me up another sheet here. You know what? I'm not even going to duplicate it. I'm just going to copy this right here. So let's go into 3.4. And can someone look it up really quick on the Learning Studio or the Canvas shell? Is it what does the Excel sheet open up to? Like what problems are we actually doing?
I think 1 and 3.
That's it? On the test.
Yeah, 1 and 3.
On the blue thing, it's only 1 and 3. Okay, so you've got one that looks like this. So this is the one we're going to do right here. We got to get into this bad boy, or we're not gonna survive. So let's make 3.4. Okay, 3.4 is using T accounts. We're going to record all the business transactions, and I believe 3.5 is going to be taking all those transactions and putting them into financial statements, if I'm correct. Yep. So we're going to prepare financial statements from the T accounts. You what? Oh, is that a trial balance? Yeah. Okay, trial balance is even better. But then you do the statement of owner's equity, income statement, all that stuff. Okay. Now we look on page 83 and we see that they're giving us all the accounts that we're going to need. So they're saying we have assets of cash, office or accounts receivables, office furniture, office equipment, automobile. I'm going to go back over to 3.38 and I'm going to copy, or 3.3b, I'm going to copy it, one of my T accounts over here, just so I have a T account. And then I can see that I know just from personal experience, because I've taught this class so many times, that we've got all the way from A through S. And so I know a bunch of those are actually going to be, I'm going to just insert this. I know we're going to have a bunch of them in cash. So I'm going to make a big cash account here. Hopefully that's enough. Sure. I just went in between where they are, and I click on the left side where that number is, and I go down. I'm just going to go down to like 20. I'm going to hit right mouse click over on that number again and hit insert, and it just grows that T account. I'm going to go ahead and just grab like half of that for accounts receivables. And a good indicator of what this needs to look like is going to be right here. So we have accounts receivables, office equipment. So they're giving us 1, 2, 3, 4 spots in each of these. So we'll just do 4 after that. Paste, paste. I'm actually going to get rid of a bunch of these. I think I made it too big. I'm going to make a bunch of them. Oh man, I've really screwed up too. I did something stupid. All right. We can make more of these as we need them. I'm going to make this up like this. Now, the test, just to show you, the test has the accounts above it. You can see what they are. They have them all listed down below. I'm going to try and keep it as close to this as possible so it's not confusing. But we'll see where we go from here. Now notice on the test there's this little tab over here. That's for the letter, so we can keep track of everything as we do it. Letter goes in here. So we need to do that on ours. We need to have a space for the letter, so I have a space over here. I'm going to have to add one space here. There we go. Then I'm going to have to add a space here. And then it looked like we didn't have anything past the third one. There we go. We'll make this as we go. Let's read the first transaction. You just click on the column and then right mouse click and say insert. What? 83. So page 83. Here's the problem. Analyze the transactions. Record each in an appropriate T account. Use the plus and minus signs in the front of the amounts to show increases and decreases. Identify each entry in the T accounts by writing the letter of the transaction next to the entry. Oh, that sounds like what I just said. I like that. Okay, so we are going to start off with first one. Mr. Tuck.
Catherine Price invested $120,000 in cash to start the business.
Okay, so Catherine Price is starting off, heavy hitter.
So, I'm going to go with,
Let's make this one a cash account right here. Now we're going to make this one, you guys can just follow me. Do you have these all made up? I'm going to put accounts receivables, or AR. I'm going to make this one over here. Office equipment. I'm going to just keep scooting back and forth between these two. Then we have office furniture, accounts payable. So then we'll have office furniture. Sorry, I just forgot. Accounts payable. Capital, which was what, Catherine? Capital. We're going to have drawing, fees, income, rent expense. Okay, so drawing. Go ahead and grab this one. Copy these things down here. The good news is on the test, it's already done for you. So this would be Catherine Price drawing. Fees, income, rent expense. Fees, income, rent expense. So then we're going to have
How many of them are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 total. So I'm going to do fees, income, rent expense. Utilities expense, salaries expense, telephone expense. That's good because we have all of our expenses together. Utilities, salaries, telephone. Office cleaning expense and copying expense, but I don't think we have office cleaning in here, do we? We have something different. I think it's like automobile or something. Drawing, utilities, auto expense, salaries expense, telephone expense. So yeah, let's just do auto expense here. I think we've got them all then. Now remember, it's super close to what the test is going to be like, but there's going to be different names. But we can usually tell like A is going to be very close to A in that problem also. So Mr. Tuck, our first one was what again? It was that she put $120,000 of money in the bank or in the business?
Yes.
So using our awesome formula of what to think of first, what are we doing with this one? Cash, that's right. This is why I like this guy. Show me the money. So we got cash coming in. When we have cash coming in, what side of the equation is it on? Or what side of the T account? The left. So we're going to have 120,000 cash coming in. Off to the left of that, I'm going to put this, A. This said A, and in fact, I'm going to grab this whole column right here, and I'm going to right justify it. So it comes right up next to it. So it says A. Now I cannot go on until I put 120,000. Where? Somewhere on the right. It has to be on the right somewhere.
Owner's
Capital. So we're going to come down here. We're going to go ahead and put this. Now this is my little trick. Instead of typing it in, I'm going to say equals 120,000 right there. I just clicked on the cell. It's going to save you a lot of headache. I just clicked on it, and that's A also. I'm trying to scoot over here. Instead of typing in the number, I just said equals, and I put the cell. In fact, I can do the same thing with A, equals A. Great. Nick in the front. What's the next transaction?
Purchase stock equipment for,
Nope.
1,500 cash.
We're on page 83.
83.
Oh, that's right. Paid 6,400 for the current month's rent. So you're going to cash?
What are we doing with cash?
Since you paid for it, it's on the
So it's on the right side. So we're going to say 6,400.
And that would be B.
B. Okay.
Okay, for current rent, monthly rent, so, accounts payable. Oh, rent.
Rent expense. There we go. We're going to go ahead and say equals. And I'm going to come up here and say 6,400. And then I'm going to put B next to it. And this whole column is going to have to be right justified. Good. Next, the net.
Bought a used automobile for the firm for $36,000 in cash.
Oh, we have an automobile account that I didn't put in here. Whoops.
We're going to debit automobile,
Yes, we're going to debit automobile.
$36,000 and then credit cash.
I'm actually going to copy a little bit of my office equipment here. Just pop it into this little spot right here because I think I can put automobile. I forgot that one. We're going to debit it for $36,000, and that's Charlie. And then what are we going to do in the cash?
Credit cash.
Credit cash $36,000. I'm actually going to do my equals and click on this one. ABC 22.
In a second,
Oh.
I already know that I messed up. Perform services for 8,000 in cash.
Perform services for $8,000 in cash.
So it's gonna go left side on cash, 8,000.
We're getting $8,000 in cash, so we'll put $8,000 in here. This is D. What's on the right side?
It's going to be services.
Which is
I haven't gotten that titled yet.
we perform services.
Yes.
So we were earning revenue,
Yes.
which we call
Which one's
starts with an F, ends in an E's income.
fees income?
Fees income, that's correct. And that is a delta. Right there. Echo, John.
Pay $1,600 for automobile repairs.
Piece of crap car we just bought. Now we're paying for it already. Dang it.
That'll be a debit to cash. I mean a credit to cash.
Credit to cash. I like it.
And it would be, is that an expense for automobile or just automobile?
We have an automobile expense.
Yeah, an automobile expense. It'll be
Because an expense is always a
debit.
debit. There we go. Boom. Automobile expense. I'm hoping that tonight there's going to be a lot of YouTube. Click pause, click pause, click pause.
If only you could track.
I can.
Again?
Yeah, it's all in there. Okay. F. Priscilla.
Perform services for $9,150 on credit.
Okay. What are we doing? Accounts receivables. We're going to what? Debit or credit? Okay. I'm sorry, what was it? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, and what was the other half?
Perform services.
So where are we going to put that? That's where it would be. $91.50. Excellent work. G, Jennifer.
Purchased office chairs for $5,600 on credit. So would it be, $5,600 on cash credited?
I didn't hear anything about cash in there. What did we purchase?
Office chairs?
So I see office furniture. Why don't we put it in there?
Accounts payable?
Accounts payable. You're good. You're good. Kevin.
Received $4,500 from credit clients. 4,500 in cash,
Which side?
debit, on the left side.
Okay.
And accounts. Receivable,
Yes. What do we do on the left or the right?
credit, which is on the right.
Perfect. HI. Nick.
Paid $3,600 to reduce the amount owed for office chairs, so you're gonna take minus $3,600 from cash,
Which is a
debit, credit.
credit. That's all right. HI. Okay. And where are we going to put that?
And then that's gonna be minus $3,600 off of, yep, minus $3,600 off of accounts payable.
Which is left or right?
Right. Yeah,
What?
yeah,
Right?
right.
Annette's going no. Why? It always has to be on both sides, correct? There we go. So we have to debit the accounts payable. Ken, J,
They issue a check for $1,300 to pay the monthly bill, utility bill.
okay?
Paid out, so they go to utility. Those for utilities.
Okay, so utilities expense,
Yeah.
and expense is always a,
Yeah.
so how much? It's 1,200 or something, or
Yes.
1,300?
1,300.
And so how much go, where does that go, the other half of it? What are we gonna credit?
Cash.
Cash. $1,300. Perfect. All right. Looking good. Ashley, you're up. K.
Purchased office equipment for $19,600 and paid half of this amount in cash immediately. The balance is due in 30 days.
Oh, we just hit our first compound transaction. Booyah. All right, we are swimming in the deep end of the pool for today. So let's start with the easy stuff. What do we get?
We could
What do we get?
get office equipment.
We got office equipment. How much office equipment?
$19,600.
HIJK, 19,600. We're going to debit it because it's an asset. Now, we paid half of it in cash, and we owe on half of it. Now, up to this point, we've always put the exact same number on the other side. But this is what we call a compound transaction, where we can split it up as long as everything we do on the right equals that thing that we did on the left. Anybody ever bought a house? You go into escrow. They put all these things on the left, and all the things on the right, they all have to equal out, and then boom, the transaction happens, okay? So that's exactly what we're doing right here. We're balancing these things. So half of it was paid in cash, which means how much is going to be over in cash? What? You're doing the math? You're not going to do the math. You're going to say equals this one. Well, divided by 2 or times 0.5, however you want to do it, you know. So we need half of it, or times 1/2 of that. We can do any of that. And we say enter. Ah! It did the math for me. I'm so happy I didn't think of that. So I didn't have to do any of the math. Remember I told you, you don't have to do math. You just have to know what is needed to be done. The next part is that we owe money because we've only done half it. So where's that going to go, Ashley? Accounts payable. So we're going to come down here and put another K. I'm going to do it right now. Equals this one times the other half. Okay. Enter. 9,800. What's it? What? Right here. I got it up here. G5 times 1/2. Parlez-vous français? Mais oui. Now, that is if you have the exact same location that I do on your cell sheet. The essential thing is that we don't care about the location. I'm taking this number and I'm multiplying it by 1/2. That's it. Shift 8 is the asterisk to multiply. No shift, it's just the slash key, just to the left of the shift key. 1/2. Or you could say times 0.5 or divided by just /2. You could have done it a million different ways.
So it's the same thing, 9,800.
Well, yeah, it's half of it, so of course you're going to have the same thing twice. Can I what? Like that? Okay, wait. I'm not even going to click on it. You tell me, Nick, right now. If I click on this, what should be the formula in there? What is this going to equal?
It would be equal J5 divided by 1/2.
No, divided by 2 or times 1/2.
But what I'm saying and what I'm asking is it's just the same button that has a question mark on it. It's the division.
To the left. Yeah, that's division. So watch. I'm going to do this one differently because Nick wants me to give it to him. I'm going to go like this. Oh, I deleted it. Okay. So I'm going to say equals this number divided by 2. That's 1/2. There you go. Slash. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can do it all these different ways. So it's just a mathematical formula. I'm sorry, I like to multiply, so I always go to multiplication. I'm not a division guy. I think division's for crazy people that go to Comic-Con, stuff like that. So, all right. Was that you, Ashley? Okay, Nathan, you're up.
Issue a check for $13,700 to pay salaries. No, one of them is one of the accounts is salaries expense. It's gonna be debited.
Because an expense is always a.
Debit.
Okay.
And the other one would be cash.
That's correct, sir. And we know it's going to be a credit because this side was a debit. Bing. Jerry, you're up.
Perform services for $47.50.
Perform services for $47.50 in cash.
Cash on the debit side, $47.50.
Cash on the debit side of $47.50. Okay.
And then fees income on the right side, credit.
Michael. N. You know what? We're going to pause right here.